Hi students, welcome back to the session on the classification of morphemes. In the previous video, we learned what is meant by inflectional morpheme. Now we'll focus on the second category, that is derivational morpheme. So I hope you know what derivation means. Getting something new from given data. In physics, that is what you mean by derivation. Some equations will be given, some values will be given, and finally you derive an equation or something. So here in English, derivation is a process of word formation. We have learned word formation in detail, right? So derivation is deriving or getting or forming a new word by the addition of an affix to a parent word. Affix means it can either mean a prefix or a suffix. So take the word health or healthy. Take the word healthy. Then you can add the prefix un to the parent word healthy. You get a new word, unhealthy. Healthy and unhealthy. So did the meaning change? Definitely, the meaning has seriously changed. So now you got a meaning, now you got a word with an extreme opposite sense, healthy and unhealthy. So in order to get an opposite sense of a given word, you can add such a prefix to it and you can get an opposite word, a word with an opposite sense. So this is a simple example of derivation. Take the word garden, it's given in your textbook, garden, and you add the suffix er at the end of garden. You get a new word, gardener. Gardener. So this is as easy as that. Derivation, to understand, it's very easy. Adding a prefix or a suffix to a parent word to derive a new word. This process is derivation. But what you need to focus is this. There are two subdivisions. There are two subcategories of derivational morphemes. So anything that you add to a root word or any affix, which means any prefix or any suffix that you add to a root word in order to derive a new word is called a derivational morpheme. There are two types of derivational morphemes. They are, the first one is class changing derivational morpheme and the second one is class maintaining derivational morpheme. So what do you mean by class changing morpheme? Any morpheme when added to the parent word, which brings about a change in the grammatical class of the verb. Maybe a noun becomes a verb becomes an adjective. So such a change in the class or category of the parent word, if this happens by the addition of a derivational morpheme, then we call that derivational morpheme as a class changing derivational morpheme. For example, take the word music. Music is the root word or the parent word. What is music? It's a name of an art form, right? It's a form of art, name. So we say this belongs to the category of noun. Music is a noun, name of an art form. But when you add the suffix l to it, al to it, you get a new word. You derive a new word, musical. Musical. You got a new word. But does that belong to the same category of noun? No. Now it has become, musical is an adjective, something that qualifies, right? Her poems are musical. Here, musical is an adjective. So what was the parent word? It was music. It was a noun. And when you added a suffix to it, or when you added a derivational morpheme to it, what happened? We have derived a new word, musical. But this newly derived word musical does not belong to the category of a noun like the parent word. But it belongs to the new category, another word category, that is another word class, that is adjective. So such derivational morphemes which bring about a change in the sense and a change in the word class of the parent word, this is called a class changing derivational morpheme. A class changing derivational morpheme. So in your textbook in page number 68, they have given 12 examples Final, the last one. Let me take the last example, the 12th example in page number 68. The subheading, class changing derivational affixes. See, final is the root word. Final. The final tournament. Okay, final tournament. So in this case, final is an adjective. But when we are adding the suffix IZE to the root word final, we are deriving a new word, finalize. We have to finalize the results. Now in this sentence, finalize is an action. That means it's a verb. So we have derived the word finalize by adding the suffix IZE to the root word final. The root word was in fact an adjective, but the newly derived word is a verb. See, so such a suffix is called a derivational morpheme, which brings about a change in the class of the word. An adjective becomes a verb here. The class of the word changed and the sense also changed. So, such morphemes are called class changing derivational morphemes. And now coming to the other category, class maintaining derivational morphemes. As the very name suggests, there are certain derivational morphemes which will of course bring about a change in the sense, but will make sure that the class of the parent word or the grammatical category of the parent word remains as such. For example, boy is a noun, and when you add hood, H-O-O-D to it, you get a newly derived word, boyhood. It is still a noun. And then happy. Again, you find examples in 68 and 69, page 68 and 69. Around 10 examples are given here. Happy is an adjective. When you add the prefix un to it, you get a newly derived word, unhappy. So such a prefix is a derivational morpheme which maintains the class of the parent word. Okay, happy and unhappy. Happy and unhappy. Okay, so here happy is an adjective and unhappy is still an adjective. Even though we have added the derivational morpheme un to it, the class of the parent word remains as such. So they are called class maintaining derivational morphemes. More examples are given in your textbook. You can learn from the text or make your own examples. I hope the portion is clear to you. So we have learned morphology, different types of morphemes, which include 4 categories are there: free morphemes and bound morphemes, lexical morphemes and grammatical morphemes, roots and affixes, and then finally inflectional morphemes and derivational morphemes. So today we have focused on the last category, inflectional morphemes and derivational morphemes. What it means by inflection, what it means by derivation, then the examples for inflectional morphemes, and then we learned what derivational morphemes are, the 2 types of derivational morphemes, namely class changing derivational morphemes and class maintaining derivational morphemes. I hope it's clear to you. Thank you.